It seems like the Cleveland Browns always have some sort of drama going on in their organization, and in recent years, Baker Mayfield, as the quarterback and leader of the team, is usually involved in one way or another. A lot of the times, Baker ends up getting criticized or just straight up blamed for a lot of the problems that the Browns have, but does he deserve more credit for the success that the Browns have had in recent years? In today's video, we'll talk about the Browns, we'll talk about Baker Mayfield, and we'll talk about whether or not he is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Let's get right into it. If you've not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading videos every single week and your support goes a long way. But anyways, getting into things, even though it's become popular for NFL media and NFL fans to hate on Baker Mayfield and trash him as a player, you cannot deny the fact that the Browns have gotten significantly better since Baker Mayfield joined their team a few seasons ago. In the 3 seasons before the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield, they went an abysmal 3-13, then a terrible 1-15, and then obviously the worst record ever, 0-16, and after that terrible winless season, they obviously got the #1 overall pick, which they then used on Baker Mayfield, and in the 3 seasons since they've had him, they've gone 7-8, 6-10, and then 11-5. That is a 20-game swing from the 3 seasons with Baker Mayfield versus the 3 seasons without Baker Mayfield. That is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that it gets talked about enough. And just to highlight how bad the Browns have been, last season when they went 11-5 was the first winning season since 2007. Obviously, Baker Mayfield was the quarterback last season for their 11-5 record. That is ridiculous that they hadn't had a winning season in over 10 years. And 11-5 was also the best record that they have had since 1994. The Browns have just been absolutely awful over the past 2 decades pretty much, and Baker Mayfield is finally the guy who comes in and turns it around. You would think that with all the hate he gets, Baker Mayfield is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and the Browns are still terrible like they were a few seasons ago. But that just isn't the case. The Browns are actually one of the most exciting teams in the NFL to watch when they are at their best. They have been one of the most exciting teams for the past couple of seasons now, and Baker Mayfield is a big reason for that. Obviously, like I said, they have made a massive turnaround since adding him, and I don't think that he gets enough credit for just how good the Browns have been. Obviously, a lot of people want to argue that Baker Mayfield is not the sole reason for the Browns' success. You would be right. He isn't. The Browns have gotten a lot better in so many other areas as well. It is not just the quarterback position. Obviously, they have one of the best backfields, if not the best backfield in the NFL, with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and even D'Ernest Johnson now showing out. They also have good tight ends, good wide receivers for him to get the ball to. And on the defensive side of the ball, they have some absolute studs, obviously headlined by Myles Garrett. An automatic Defensive Player of the Year candidate when healthy. He's a generational talent. They also have some other guys in the secondary that help out, like Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. I could go on and on with all the good players, all the talent that the Browns have. They've also improved their coaching staff a lot from what it was. Whether or not you think it's good or acceptable, it is a lot better than it has been. So the Browns as an organization, as a whole, have gotten better, but it is impossible to argue that the quarterback position is the most impactful and most important position on the field, and Baker Mayfield, as the leader of this team, in my opinion, doesn't get enough credit, like I've said multiple times, for the things that he's done and for the way the Browns have turned around. In my opinion, it's kind of ridiculous that people are already talking about moving on from Baker Mayfield. People are questioning whether or not the Browns should commit to him long term. I understand the contract issues. I understand that paying him a huge max extension would make it very, very hard to keep their other stars and keep their team as well-rounded as it is. I understand that, but for a franchise who has had very little success in its entire history at the quarterback position, to move on from a guy who is already one of their most productive quarterbacks in franchise history in only his 4th season, I just think that that is asking for trouble. I think that is pretty much committing to losing instead of committing to winning. So while paying Baker Mayfield the max extension might not be the best idea, it might not be the best thing for the franchise, I don't think that you can move on from him, and I don't think that it would be wise to take your chances in the draft because they have been terrible drafting quarterbacks in the past, or maybe hope to get a free agent in Cleveland. I just don't think that's the best plan. I think the best plan for the Browns would definitely definitely be to stick to what has been working, and what has been working for them is Baker Mayfield. Up to this point in the video, I've probably sounded like the biggest Baker Mayfield fan ever, but that is not what I'm trying to do. I'm far from a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm far from a Baker Mayfield fan, but I just think it's a little bit crazy how much disrespect he gets and how much people don't appreciate the role that he has had in the Browns' recent success. I will be the first person to say that Baker Mayfield is nowhere near a perfect quarterback. He has many flaws. He has a lot of questionable decisions that he's made. He's cost his team some games because of his style of play. He forces throws a lot. He plays hero ball a lot and tries to do too much. Those are problems, and those are things you don't want your quarterback to do. But in my opinion, all of Baker Mayfield's problems are maturity and experience things. They are things that will come with time. They are things that will come as he plays more games in the NFL. People forget that this is only his 4th season in the league. He's only 26 years old. If he stays healthy, he could easily play another 10 years, and people already want to start giving up on Baker Mayfield. Like I said, Baker Mayfield is far from perfect, but a lot of the flaws in his game are teachable. They are things that are improvable, and I think that I would be willing to deal with a lot of the flaws that he has when you consider some of the God-given talent and unteachable skills that he has. As a quarterback in the NFL, when it comes to playmaking and improvisation skills, you either have it or you don't. There's no teaching getting out of the pocket, throwing on the run, making plays when everything else breaks down. That is just unteachable stuff, and Baker Mayfield can do it. Patrick Mahomes has those skills, Aaron Rodgers has those skills, Russell Wilson has those skills, Kyler Murray has those skills. I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield is as good as any of those guys, because he isn't, but those are some of the unteachable qualities that he has. He also has a huge arm, something that honestly is also kind of unteachable. You either have a big arm or you don't. There's no really improving your arm strength at a significant level. Obviously, you can get a little bit stronger, you can get to throw the ball a little bit further, but just having a natural cannon of an arm like Baker Mayfield does is something that is definitely natural, and it's something that you cannot teach a guy once he gets to the NFL. He also has great athleticism for the quarterback position, which helps his playmaking ability. Like I said, for the flaws that he has, I would be willing to deal with those and work with him on those all day for the skills that he has. Baker Mayfield is not the best quarterback in the NFL. There's a good chance that he never will be, but he is a good quarterback with potential to be a great quarterback in my opinion. I think that the Browns would be crazy to give up on him, and I truly believe that he's one of the most underappreciated and underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Baker Mayfield is underrated? Do you think that he gets too much hate and disrespect from NFL media and NFL fans? Can he lead the Browns to a Super Bowl in the future? Let me know what you guys think. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one.